Hi, and welcome to another episode of Film Recommendations. Uh, I'm recommending only one film in this episode, and that's really just because while I have, still been watching films and taking them in, some of them are films that I've already seen. This week it's a film from 1994 called Immortal Beloved. It's just about 2 hours long. 121 minutes, which, if you include credits, really, makes it slightly under 2 hours. So it's actually shorter, slightly than Amadeus or, say films like The Last Emperor or other films where it's kind of a historical melodrama, or in this case, a historical fiction, much like Amadeus was. Here they don't take quite so many liberties with the entire story of Mozart as they did with Amadeus. Gary Oldman plays Mozart in this film, and he is absolutely excellent, as you can expect from Gary Oldman. He's surrounded by an excellent cast. They have costumes and locations down to a science in this film. They filmed in Prague far long before a lot of other people were doing it, and they only did it for part of the film's shooting. It was like just after the Iron Curtain lifted. I took a look at the different films that came out that year, as well as Immortal Beloved, and just taking a quick look, the top 10 grossing films were The Lion King, True Lies, The Mask, Speed, The Flintstones, Dumb and Dumber, Four Weddings and a Funeral, Interview with the Vampire, Clear and Present Danger, and I don't think I need to tell you that with films like that running up against, a stuffy old historical piece, which is what people are going to walk in thinking that it's going to be, it's not going to get a lot of intrigue. The other thing about it is that there were other films aside from those that came out that year that drew a lot of crowds and were very popular. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Airheads, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Blown Away, and Clear and Present Danger I already listed, Karina, The Client, Clerks, City Slickers 2, and The list literally just goes on. This was evidently one of the biggest years for movies ever in the history of movies. Was around that time, which is kind of mind-blowing because we don't think that way. I don't know why I never heard of Immortal Beloved up until, a few months ago. But, I was kind of perusing something and somebody mentioned that Gary Oldman played Beethoven, and I was like, what? How do I not know this? I love Gary Oldman, and I love his work, and I also happen to really like Beethoven. So for me, this is wonderful things coming together. So I had to put it on my Netflix list, and I'm here to tell you right now, it was worth, the wait, and it was worth rediscovering it. And this is the whole reason why I do this series, is so that we can rediscover films that we may have never heard of when they came out, or we may have overlooked, or might have been made before our time. This film does a wonderful job of approaching it from kind of the storytelling standpoint of Citizen Kane. It's after his death. They're trying to wrap up his affairs, and there's a single phrase or word that is the source of the mystery, and in this case, it's a true mystery where Beethoven put on his will that everything was to go to his immortal beloved, and nobody knows who that is. So as a result, this is a true mystery where they try and kind of wrap it up and say, okay, well, this is really who his immortal beloved was. And, they give it a wonderful intrigue and twist. But, it's, in the end, a fiction, just like Amadeus. So you're not going to need to go and take, everything that this movie says to heart. Uh, all that being said, it's a good length compared to Amadeus, especially if you go into the director's cut of Amadeus, where it's really, really long. It doesn't get too wrapped up in the music, but at the same time, the music is integral to the entire piece. The final scene, or one of the final scenes, where a young Beethoven is escaping from his father, who is, coming upstairs to beat him, actually leads you to one of the most amazing scenes I have ever seen in all of film, and I don't want to spoil it for you. But it takes place just towards the end. Don't skip ahead to that part of the movie or go watch the clip on YouTube. Don't do that. Watch the entire movie. But it takes place during the Ninth Symphony, also known as the Ode to Joy, which, if I remember correctly, is based on a poem by Friedrich Schiller that was written several years, or possibly Goethe. I believe it was Schiller, where basically, it's this wonderful, stirring poem about the unity of humanity and God's creation, and it's, of course, the Ode to Joy, but you may not know what the words mean. Anyway, so that'll wrap it up for this episode of Film Recommendations. Have a good day, and go check out Immortal Beloved. Bye-bye.